Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to the Chasing the Monster podcast. This is series preview number 5 here. I'm your host, David Karras, along with my other host, Luis Gomez. It's good to be back. I took a bit of a hiatus in the last episode. Some scheduling problems, but Griffin held down the fort with Lewis here, and I'm happy to jump back into the swing of things here. So before we go any further, Lewis, how are you doing tonight?
We're doing good. We can't complain. I've been doing all right. A lot of kind of disappointing baseball recently, but then, we ended the last two games beating the Rays and winning the series. So you get me? That's kind of something positive for a day off. But, against the White Sox, that was just hard to watch. But the good thing is that we're gonna face the White Sox tomorrow, so we're gonna be you get what I mean? We're gonna be hopefully we could actually take three out of four. Hopefully.
Yeah, so the Red Sox are coming into this series as mediocre as possible at 10 and 10. This is a familiar place for the Red Sox the last few years. Not playing amazing baseball, but not playing terrible baseball. It's literally the equivalent of MLB purgatory. And the White Sox are coming in this series at 4 and 14, with, as you just mentioned, Lewis, 50% of their wins coming against the Red Sox last weekend. So we'll see what happens this series. We're going to get into this series in a little bit, but I just wanted to ask what your thoughts are on the prior series that the Red Sox played against Tampa. Because before you get into what you're about to say, this stat, which has been, said already across social media, but is still wild to me, where the Red Sox got outscored by the Rays 20-9 in the last series, but still took two or three games. They got blown out in that first game,
Oh yeah.
16-1. Then they rebounded to win 7-4 on Tuesday, and then all it took on Wednesday was a David Hamilton solo shot right over the fence in right field to win it 1-0. So we, as you said, have played pretty awfully lately, but a series win is a series win.
Oh yeah, at some point in the long season you're gonna get those type of games, a shutout. But recently, yeah, we've been the offense has not been there for us recently. So the first game of the series against the Rays, it was just we didn't look professional. We didn't look like a big league team at that moment. At that day, we didn't. We for that inning, it was like the second, third inning. That's when like they scored like 9 runs. Um, we didn't look professional. They were hitting the ball off of Tanner Houck, and even though he was getting weak contact, they were still the base hits were falling. You get me? It was like he wasn't lucky. And then when we actually could get him out of the inning, we start doing errors. That's gonna make things even worse. And they they took advantage of it and started scoring. And the bullpen, you saw that was a long day for the bullpen. Tanner Hack only pitched 2.2 innings. He didn't even get to pitch three. So yeah, it was just horrible to see, but I like that the very next day that we bounced back and we scored 7 runs in total. Because, we do have the offense, but we've been a little bit cold, but we gotta start hitting. You got me and start playing like a major league team. And because we are good, we are, but it's just we're struggling recently. So we won that game 7-4. An amazing performance by Walker Buehler. He pitched 5 innings. He gave what's best for him. I think he could have gone one more inning, but Alex Cora did the best thing, the best move, not making them see Walker Buehler 3 times. But yeah, then yesterday we had a lot of chances of scoring more runs and adding into the lead. And Newcomer, he pitched a hell of a game. He really, no one, I bet you no one was expecting that from him. No one. He didn't get to finish, he didn't get the win because they took him out, missing one more. He needed one more out, like to qualify for the win. But Alex Cora had to because like Junior Caminero was coming up to bat, and you don't want to see that matchup. You get me? So I think that he did the good. Alex Cora really used the bullpen and really knew how to dom face the Rays lineup. But yeah, for now, I feel really. Then I like the way he managed the bullpen, and then I thought we should have scored more runs. We should have, but a win's a win. And hopefully with today days off, we could reset everything. The last time we had a day off was one day before opening day, Fenway Park. So, off day today and tomorrow ready to roll against the White Sox.
Now, I don't know if you feel the same way as I do about this, but I always take a little bit more pride in being the Rays, honestly, than other teams. And this may be a hot take, but at least in my lifetime, the Red Sox Yankees rivalry, besides like right when I was born, so I was born in 2001. I think the rivalry peaked up until 04, 05. We had a
Mhm.
little bit of the spice in 2018, but and then we played them in the wild card game in 21. But that rivalry has just kind of been hot and cold between the Red Sox and the Yankees. It's not like I think the rivalry of when our parents were around when it was as heated as it gets. But for me, I always love beating the Rays because I just always hate playing them. It always seems like no matter who they put on the field, they always find a way to get a victory. And my friend from college used a great analogy once when describing the Rays, where the Rays is like that fly you can't get rid of in your kitchen or your basement or whatever that just won't die. Like no matter what they do or no matter what you try to do to beat them, they're still going to find a way to get that last word against you. So
Yeah, that's
I love the right. I honestly think the Red Sox Rays rivalry is very underrated in the baseball world because I think that there's been a lot of great moments between the two teams the last decade or so. Um, Dave Ortiz taking David Price,
yeah.
future Red Sox David Price deep a couple times in that 13 playoffs. Obviously, the crazy ground rule double in the 2021 game by Kevin Kiermaier, and then Christian Vasquez walking it off in that game three a few innings later. Kike Hernandez walking off that series the very next day, sending us to the ALCS in 21. So I don't know. It's something just about the Rays that I just love beating them because it feels like every time we play them or every time any team plays them, the craziest stuff happens. So it's like you really earn that victory against the Rays, and that's what makes it feel so much better. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
I love beating them. I just love beating them.
Yeah, even though they're not like a superstar team, they find ways of like competing with you. You get me? Even though you have the best team, they just love making the wins harder for you. Even not even making the wins harder, they will take the win as well. But yeah, it's like for a couple years you've been like they've been like that. That team that never dies. For some reason you gotta be scared of them.
And I don't know if you saw that stat, but the Rays have now gone 15 straight years without winning a game on April 15th in the
Oh
calendar,
yeah, yeah, I saw yeah.
which is crazy. But
Yeah, it's
anyways,
crazy, yeah.
one other thing I wanted to talk about before we get into this upcoming series is that the Red Sox are up to 20 errors this season, which is the most in the MLB through 20 games. The defense has been a problem for the Red Sox, in my opinion, since 2022.
Yeah.
Um, I think the organization has sort of not given defense the attention it needs. What is your opinion on the defense being this bad again? Because I personally didn't see this coming. I mean, when you move a guy like Rafael Devers, who we both love, who everyone in Red Sox Nation loves, to DH, you're thinking, okay, that means our defense is automatically going to get better because look, we all love Rafi, but he's statistically one of the worst third basemen defensively in the league. Is this getting to a point where you're hitting the panic button again? And do you think Cora could be harder on the players and coach a little bit harder to improve our defense? Because I'm just worried that this is going to cost us a game if we are in the playoff hunt down the line, and that's really going to screw us when defense should be the last thing that we should be worried about when we have an amazing defensive infield with guys like Bregman and Story. We have a Gold Glove outfielder in Wilyer Abreu. Rafael is playing great defense in center. So, what are your thoughts on this whole thing with the defense?
I'm not gonna lie. And when the season started, you could tell the difference of good defense. We were having, we were playing really good defense. This situation started in Baltimore. This is where like it started little by little. And I'm not gonna, I feel like we had a lot of games. We played a lot of games in a row. And if I'm not mistaken, it was April 3rd, the last time they were off. Sometimes it's hard. Baseball is a really hard sport. Traveling, Chicago, Tampa, all back to back days. You get me? All those days in a row. And I felt like by the time that out of April 3rd from April 16th, you could tell we got worse and worse in defense. And I feel like we're gonna be fine. And it's just like the defense is gonna be there, but that's also gonna happen. And on the end of the day, we're only humans. Sometimes we're gonna do errors, but hopefully we learn from them. And like you said, maybe Alex Cora being harder on them, that will also work. But Alex Cora knows. He knows. He was a player that played shortstop, second base, even third. So he's a pretty smart guy. He recently said that he's not worried about it. So, we got to trust our manager, but I feel like we're going to be fine. Even though Alex Bregman has four errors. I just saw people talking about it and like, oh wow, they changed Devers to DH, but look at the problem. Bregman is now a problem. But I'm like, okay, it's like if Devers was the third baseman, that means Bregman will be the second baseman. It will mean no Christian Campbell. You see what I mean? And like bringing Christian Campbell improves the team in offense and also defensively as well. But people, he has done a couple errors. Like he also has done a couple errors, but I don't know if you realize it, they're like kids errors, or like a rookie errors. But he's gonna learn more and more and get better at it. If if he could play center field, trust me, he's gonna be fine at second base. It's just a matter of time.
Now,
It's just a matter of time. He's gonna be fine.
I want to talk about each of the pitching matchups in the series coming up now. So, as you mentioned earlier, the Red Sox and the White Sox, the Battle of the Sox, are playing four games this series. They just played last week, as we talked about, with the White Sox taking two of three. They won the first two games by a score of the first one 11-1 last Friday. Then they squeaked out a 3-2 victory last Saturday. Then the Red Sox won 3-1 last Sunday. So this series coming up, starting tomorrow night, former Red Sox Martin Perez is on the bump for Chicago, and we do not know who is pitching for the Red Sox as of right now. It could be Garrett Crochet. Cora talked about potentially his start date being pushed up by a day. Or it could be Hunter Dobbins coming back up for another spot start for the Red Sox at the major league level. After that, Saturday, it's going to be Shane Smith and for now Garrett Crochet on the bump for Boston. Shane Smith, the righty for Chicago, is 0-1 with a 2.04 ERA this year. Crochet for Boston is 2-1 with a 1.38 ERA so far. On Sunday, 1:35 p.m. start Eastern Time. Sean Burke on the bump for Chicago versus Tanner Houck on the mound for Boston. Burke, the righty for Chicago, is 1-3 with a 7.56 ERA. Houck is 0-2 to start the year with a 9.16 ERA. And then Monday, Marathon Monday here in Boston, April 21st, we have that traditional, very early start at 11:10 in the morning. As of right now, it's Jonathan Cannon on the bump for Chicago and Walker Buehler on the mound for Boston. Cannon is 0-2 with a 5.79 ERA this year, and Walker Buehler so far in his Red Sox tenure is 2-1 with a 5.23 ERA. So
Gotten better.
again,
He's been performing.
he's
I know
gotten better.
his first two stars wasn't it, but his ERA was higher and is getting lower. He's performing how he should. But
So what are your thoughts? These the schedule may not hold up, as I just said, because people's starts may get pushed up here. We'll find out more tomorrow from Cora. But from what we know right now, what are your thoughts on the pitching matchups?
I feel like we have a better rotation than them and a better pitching matchup than them, and we should definitely take the four. I'm not trying to be greedy here, but we gotta start rolling. We gotta if we're gonna win, if we're a playoff team, we gotta start taking advantage of teams like the White Sox that are totally only have 4 wins. We should definitely come with a little bit of anger because we lost the series to the White Sox the last time we faced them. So we should definitely try to take all 4 games, or at least 3 out of the 4, because at this point we're competing for a playoff spot. And then, okay, at some point it's like the season, it's early, but at some point the early is getting tired. It's saying that it's early is like it's like bring coming up with an excuse. And we should stop trying to coming up with excuses that it's early and try and take advantage of teams like this because we're not facing the White Sox in the summer. We're not facing them anymore. The next time we face them is next in 2026. You get me? So it's in the summer. It's gonna be teams that are like the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, are teams that are like competing for playoffs. You get me? And we also need those wins. But we should definitely try to take advantage of the White Sox right now. And for tomorrow, then still not official, but I think it's gonna be Dilbits. I think it's gonna be him. He pitched amazing against the Cardinals. Why wouldn't he? I'm gonna stay positive. Why wouldn't he against the White Sox? That is the worst team. You get me? So I'm gonna stay positive and I'm gonna go with the Dilbits. And Perez, he's been performing good, but we all know that he's not like that good. You get me? He is pretty tricky. He could confuse players, but we gotta be on top of him and attack him and stop taking pitches. And if the ball is right down, if it's hittable, we should hit it, not take it. And for Saturday, Smith versus Crochet. Um, Smith has been doing a great job. 2.4 ERA, I think. He's been doing a great job as well, but we're a better team. We have our ace that is way better than him, and he's gonna be pitching against a White Sox team that the offense is not that good, and our offense is, so we're supposed to be a really good ball club. So I feel like we should definitely beat up on Smith and try to get that W. And Crochet was 7 or 8 innings, you get me? And we could also save our arm, our bullpen, because we have our ace. And that he's gonna try to pitch as much as he can. And then on Sunday, um, I know Tanner Houck just pitched, but he didn't. He only threw like 50 pitches because he had to leave the game early. because it wasn't against the Rays, so he's gonna be fine. I think he's gonna be even more rested because he's used to throwing 90 pitches. He's used to throwing 90 pitches, so I feel like he's gonna be more fresh, more rested, and he probably is gonna be throwing even harder because he didn't get to he probably didn't got sore from his last outing against the Rays. But I'm sticking with Hulk. He's a better pitcher, even though numbers for Bork, he has a better ERA than Hulk. But right now, I feel like Hulk he hasn't been lucky because sometimes baseball is about luck. If you're lucky, you could actually pull a lot of things. Even, but I feel like it's the White Sox. They don't have enough offense, and maybe um Tanner like could get more confident against them, because and hit his spot and maybe throw 8 innings. You never know. I will be really happy. I will be really happy to see him throw 8 innings at least, because that's how you start building up your confidence. Because recently, I don't feel like he's that confident. Confident. Yeah, his confident level is not that high. I feel, especially after the last game against the Rays. And then on Monday, pitching for the White Sox is Cannon. He's 5.79 ERA, and for us it's Walker Bueller, and with a 5.23 ERA. And I know for Walker Bueller his ERA is high, but I feel like his last two starts he's been pitching great. He's been pitching dominating. He's been pitching amazing. So I just feel like he's just gonna keep building from that, and he's gonna be good. And for Cannon, we expect him like to get on him and show the White Sox we're the better team and take advantage of that they're a bad team. And there should be no excuses. Because right now we're like 10-10. We're a 500 ball club. Barely. Last night we were 9-10. But we gotta keep building and take advantage of teams like this. We should, because we're definitely not gonna take advantage of a team like the Yankees when we faced them in the summer. You got me? And we're not beating the Yankees 4 games in a row. They're gonna come. They're gonna answer back, because they. I do feel we're better than the Yankees, but you know what I mean. We could probably win the series, win 2 out of 1 against the Yankees or a good team, but we could maybe even beat the Yankees in a 4 game, or like we could sweep them in 4 games in the regular season. But you know what I mean? They could answer back. They got offense. They got Aaron Judge. They got pitching. The White Sox don't got that. So we should. They are a little bit lower than a normal team. So we should definitely take advantage of that, because there is basically a triple A team. I feel like the triple A team of the Red Sox could beat the White Sox right now. Hopefully, we see it with that mentality and take advantage of it. Advantage of it. Yeah.
So now let's get into our series predictions. I'm predicting the Red Sox to take 3 of 4 here. As much as I would love a sweep, I'm just
Yeah.
very risk averse. I can never predict a sweep. I do think we're going to lose that first game tomorrow, and I think the panic button is going to get hit. I just always get nervous when I see TBD or to be determined or not an actual starter on the schedule, because I just think that that's just a recipe for disaster. You could be getting a surprise. I shouldn't say surprise, but you could be getting a Hunter Dobbins 7 inning shutout performance, or you could be getting a bullpen game, which I always hate bullpen games. I'd
Oh my.
rather just starter
Huh.
go 6, 7 innings. So I don't know. With all that uncertainty, I'm going to say we lose the first game, but I mean, come on, people. Like you just said, Lewis, this is the Chicago White Sox, so I think we should win 3 of 4. We should win all 4, but we need to win 3 of 4. So that's my prediction. I think we'll lose the first game, and then we'll win the final three games. But, you know, we have to start, as he said, we got to take advantage of these winnable games. We're a 500 team right now. We got to start going a little bit of a run here. We're already 20 games into the season. Yes, there's still 140 to go, but
Yeah.
we're very close to heading into May. So we got to turn it up at some point. And what better team to do that against than the Chicago White Sox and make up for that atrocity that was last weekend, losing 2 or 3 to them.
And it's okay. Things like things like that is gonna happen. It's alright for it to happen. I'd rather for it to happen now than in the summer, because that's where you will actually click the panic button. 'Cause if we're performing like that in the summer, I'd rather for that to happen now, and we could figure it out now. But it is gonna hurt because we lost against the last series against the White Sox. But I'm not gonna lie with you. Every time you predict, you're always correct on them. So now I'm thinking, I'm like, should I even
I'm
go?
just that good.
Should I even go for it now? I was thinking of sweep, but I'm like, oh, you're always right every time you predict. So for me, I'm gonna have faith on the Red Sox, and hopefully they take advantage of the situations against the White Sox. So I'm going 4-0. We beat them and we sweep.
4 game sweep.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? We're a better team. We're a better offense. Have better pitching. We have better bullpen. We got better everything. We even got better jerseys, so we good.
So, one final thing I want to talk about with you tonight is the roster construction of the Red Sox. And this is a good problem to have, but the pressure is mounting on Craig Breslow here to make decisions on both Masataka Yoshida and Roman Anthony. Roman Anthony just had another incredible game for the Worcester Red Sox today. He had 2 homers, including a grand slam. He is dealing with some shoulder soreness, so that's why he's been DHing lately for Worcester, but he continues to pop off down there. And then, of course, you got a guy like Masataka Yoshida who, can't stay in Worcester for forever. We're not paying someone $18 million a year, or whatever, $19 million a year to just play for Worcester. This isn't Rusney Castillo 2.0. So the thing is, we know Roman Anthony has a spot waiting for him on the roster. The consensus is that when he gets called up, Cedon Rafaela is probably the odd man out, and we're going to roll with some outfield of Roman Anthony, Abreu, and Duran, with Cedon Rafaela being a fourth outfielder or a platoon guy, super utility guy, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
Where the heck do we go with Masataka Yoshida? Like, where is his spot on this team anymore? Because do we just DFA him? Because he can't stay in Worcester forever. He's not going to be a DH because Rafi's going to be there. Seems like Rafi could potentially play all 162 games this year. I don't think he's missed a game yet. So I don't know. Yoshida on this team.
I feel like we're going. He's gonna be good. I feel like he's a really good hitter. I feel like he's one of the best for us, but right now with all the question marks and Roman Anthony not like having performing like that, like how he did today, is people are gonna be like, okay, why not call this kid up? Because he's performing amazing, but people forget that Roman Anthony, people forget that Masataka Yoshida is a really good hitter. He is really good, and last year he was hurt from the shoulders and he struggled from swinging. He struggled like swinging the ball, and he couldn't even play defense because of the last shoulder. But something I realized from Yoshida this summer was that, I mean, this spring training. Sorry, I realized that he was swinging harder. He was hitting the ball harder, and I was like, he looks stronger. He looks like better. But even Cora said it. People like mistaking him, but he's one of the best hitters in this lineup and this team. So he's been like, last year was a downfall. It was a down year for him, but he hit 280. And something that we gotta realize is that Yoshida's hitting. He doesn't strike out. The Red Sox are striking out a lot too recently. They've been striking out a lot too, and I wouldn't mind putting Yoshida there and putting Durant at center field and putting him in left field because he could catch fly balls. Maybe he's not that fast like Sendai Rafaela because he's slower, but he could catch normal flies. You get me? But adding Yoshida to the lineup, I think will just improve it. Will improve better. But recently, if Sendai Rafaela wants to be the everyday starter, then he has to start with the offense because it doesn't matter at the end of the day if you could hit, you're gonna play. Yeah, that's how it is nowadays. That's how the type of baseball we see nowadays.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, and it's a good problem to have, but it's gonna come to a climax very soon here, and Craig Breslow is gonna have a very tough decision to make. But that is gonna do it for us for this episode. This is another fun series preview. Hopefully the Red Sox can get back on track here against the White Sox. Hopefully we come back here and do this on Monday, feeling very happy and all positive about the team. You know, it's been a roller coaster ride of a season so far. Typical of the Red Sox of these 2020s. But yeah, obviously we want the team to do well and hopefully they can win this series and build some more momentum. But that is going to do it for us alongside Lewis. I'm your host, David, and we will talk to you guys very soon, probably Monday. Go Red Sox. Have a good night.